A lot of us that trade the NASDAQ, we're psychos. We like the fast movement. What prop firms do a very good job at is helping you learn that trading is a little bit longer of a game. I only risk about 2%. If I can get one trade in the personal account, I'm done.
So you haven't bought into the trend around negative RR then?
No. No. I have the receipts to prove that I am just like everybody else. Like I have blown accounts left and right. That's why I don't set limits, right? I don't. The only limits I set is how much I lose in a day, and then I'm done.
Fair. What is your setup, if you can describe that? What's your success rate been on that approach?
So far, I'm right around like 70%.
So what do you think retail traders are getting wrong about prop firm trading these days?
The rush. If you get in a hole, it's hard to get out of. You have to be almost a perfect trader to get out of a hole. They trade like London session, they trade the New York session, and they trade the Asia session.
Yeah.
It's like, do you sleep?
All right, Joey, appreciate you joining, man. I'm super excited to get to know you a little bit better and about your background. Why don't we kick it off right away? If you could introduce yourself and tell us how you first got started in trading.
Yeah, well, I've been a full-time trader for going on about 4 years now. Been in the markets for about 7 total. Started off in equities. I was a swing trader. I traded Tesla, Amazon, all the major tech stocks. I would swing those for a period of time, and that was my really first kind of step into trading. I would say I got a little taste of trading back in the big crypto. When the crypto first started getting a name for itself, I would take small positions in crypto, and nothing really major then. And I wouldn't say that was really my intro to trading. That was kind of just like a little taste. But
Sure.
When I really first dove into trading was being a swing trader in the tech sector.
Yeah. Was that 2014 crypto or 2017 crypto? Different profile there.
That was like 2014. Yeah.
Okay.
2014.
So the first run to like 1,000 on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Same. That was about my first real exciting territory on Bitcoin, and obviously a huge opportunity cost. I think at one point I had bought a bunch of Bitcoin for maybe $12 per.
Oh, nice.
It's unbelievable to see it at 130,000 now. So
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I was the first. I think I was trading XRP. Trying to get in it before it ran up till I think it was like $3 or something like that.
That's right. Yeah, I took it from 19 cents to $3, which was one of my better trades at that time.
Nice.
That's amazing. So with the swing trades, was that just sort of an approach that you came up with for yourself, or was it something you were learning at the time?
I was learning. I had seen other YouTubers out there swing trading, trading the tech sector and stocks. And I was like, man, like I really want to do that. Like I want another source of income. That'd be great. And so I got into it, and there were some moments I was so new to trading that I didn't really know what I was looking for. Like I had some sort of idea of like technical analysis and just the most basic foundations you could think of. That's where I was. And I would just try to find good opportunities, in like Tesla or Amazon or Google or Microsoft, and try to hold them for a period of time. There were times where I got stuck bag holding because I was so new and didn't know what I was doing. I was bag holding for, a period of time, lost some money, made some money. But yeah, that was really my first like actual taste of being a trader.
Okay. So what are you trading these days? Have you shifted to something else entirely, or still swing trading stocks?
I still swing trade stocks here and there. Now I'm mainly I focus intraday, day trader, trading futures, mainly the NASDAQ. A lot of us that trade the NASDAQ, we're psychos. We like the fast movement. We want the volatility.
That's right.
But yeah, so and I've tried trading slower instruments, and I lose patience too fast. I'm just so used to the NASDAQ and the volatility and things and how it moves that I've just kind of stuck with it and ran with the NASDAQ. Sure.
What caused you to head down the futures path?
Again, another YouTuber.
Okay.
I really found pretty much all aspects of what I do through other people. I saw another YouTuber day trading futures, and it was through a prop firm where it was you could take a valuation, pass it, get funded, and make money with other people's money essentially. And so that was my first real taste in the futures. Was I went straight to prop firms.
Got it.
And been doing that ever since. And now obviously I now have a funded account myself that I funded, and I mainly put all my focus into while I trade prop firms.
Got it. So actually, that's an interesting transition to make. You started in futures in prop firm accounts, which is probably a safe bet, to be honest. I really think that's a great path for people to take, because futures accounts are incredibly risky and you can lose all your money in one day, kind of thing. But the worst case scenario for a funded, or excuse me, a eval account is the cost of the account itself, right? Fantastic path to take. What was it like to decide to move from the prop firm accounts into your own live futures account?
It was a bit of a mindset shift. I think obviously, like, I don't trade my personal account the same way I trade prop accounts.
I would imagine. Yeah.
I'm a little more aggressive in prop firm accounts. There's days where I don't take a single trade. There could be a week where I might only take 2 trading days where I trade, right? And so it's like, I don't trade the same. It's a slow growth, right? So it's definitely a mental shift going from prop firm to personal. But I think what prop firms do a very good job at is helping you learn that trading is a little bit longer of a game. And when you're trading your own money and you learn that kind of mentality, you can carry it over into a personal account instead of learning the hard way. Yep.
I kind of figured you would probably shift towards swing trading in the futures account, because that's obviously of benefit. You're eliminating some of the commission and cost and trade turnover. You can just hold a micro for a longer period of time and pick up, even a couple thousand points with something like NASDAQ moving as much as it is. Do you do any swing trading in the futures account then?
Not yet. It's all intraday. I am actually interested in doing a little bit of swing trading in the futures market. I was actually talking to, my community. We were talking about gold. And gold's been on an absolute just ripper.
Just a tear.
All-time highs day after day. And, I was like, man, I would love to get like just a healthy pullback, not just something to get a starter entry on gold, and then just hold it, right? Just get a small position on gold and just hold it, maybe average into it if we're in a nice winning trade. So swing trading futures, gold is definitely on my mind.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And honestly, it's one of the best performing assets this year. I think it's even beating Bitcoin. So it's incredible. Yeah. So what is your approach then with intraday trading? Can you describe your trading style and rules that you trade by?
Yeah. As far as rules go, I limit myself. If we're talking personal account, I only risk about 2%. A day in my account. I try to keep my risk very, very tight. And one trade. If I can get one trade in the personal account, I'm done. I'm happy with it. That's usually where I'm calling it, because I tend to aim for about 10 to 15, usually about 15 points on the NASDAQ. At that point, if I feel like I can get more than that, then I'll trail. But 15 points is usually my sweet spot on the NASDAQ. And so if I can get that, I'm done. I'll call it a day, and I may trade, just focus on prop firm accounts, or just go do something else with my time. I have a boat, might go fishing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
sounds like a better use of your time than staring at charts forever, right?
Yeah. I don't want to sit on the screens all day long staring at charts. I want to get out and do stuff. So if I get that one and done, that's great. So, but 2% risk. I max per day. I usually start with 5 micros. I love micros. I love the ability to scale in and out. So usually 5 micros. If I add to a position, it's usually 2 micros. So I won't go another 5. It's usually 2 for like 7 micros total. And I've really found that's been my consistency area of just 5, max 7 micros, 15 points. That's the sweet spot. And so if I can do that when I trade my personal account, perfect. That's what I look for.
Sure. So how do things change once you trade the prop firm accounts?
Yeah. So prop firm is a little bit more aggressive. It's I scale up a little bit. It could be 10 micros at a time. I usually don't go more than I try not to go more than two minis total.
Got it.
I trade micros. So I try to stay in that area. A little more aggressive.
10 to 20 micros. Yeah. You still stick with M&Q then?
I do. Yeah, I do. There are times where it's like, if I see if I'm just so positive on this move and I feel extremely confident in a setup, I might go to a mini. But my sweet spot's at 20 micros, scaling in and out.
Sure. Also going for 15 points on those?
Yes. Yeah.
What's your stop loss look like?
Market structure. So whatever. Okay. I try not to. It's usually about 1-to-1s, right?
Yeah.
So
15 on either side.
If I can get 1-to-1s, that's usually where I'm at.
Smart. Yeah. So you haven't bought into the trend around negative RR then?
No, no. I've been seeing that all over Twitter, the negative R&R challenge. I just can't bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
I feel like one losing streak that you go on just can absolutely wreck your account. And so
That's right.
I can see, like, on the NASDAQ, how there are times where it could work, right? But it's one of those things where I feel like, if it works for you, you train your brain to think that it works every time. And then when it starts to not work, you still do it over and over again until you put yourself in a hole.
Yeah.
And I can't, I won't do it.
Yeah. It's certainly the kind of thing where if you do it right, you basically have to just stop after the first loss. That's it. That's your loss for the day. But if you're continuing to trade after that, then it gets problematic. So I'm right there with you. So were there any like big aha moments for you that helped with prop firm trading? Like describe what the journey was like when you first got your first eval and started passing and started getting payouts.
Yeah. When I first started trading futures, man, it was tough, right? And like prop firms were my first taste of futures, and I was blowing account left and right. I mean, it was I have the receipts to prove that I am just like everybody else. Like I've blown accounts left and right. And I think I do believe everybody has their aha moment. But even with an aha moment, I still feel like there are issues that every trader is going to face because we are human. I mean, it's just the human nature of trading. Yeah. But I think I like to call it turning point, right? The turning point for me was realizing that it's more of a longer game than trying to make a bunch of money really quickly. And one thing I learned over time is, $200 days stack up faster than you may actually think. Like, I mean, they stack and they can really grow that account, especially if you're trading prop firm accounts, where say if you have a profit target of, what would be, just say 3,000, right? To get a payout, those $200 days stack quick. Like you're going to get to 3,000 pretty fast. Yeah. Right. And so, I think that shift of just taking a step back and, having a little more patience. If I don't take a trade, I don't take a trade. I mean, it's fine. I have 4 other trading days in a week to trade, right? Or I have however many days left of the month to take trades. And so it's just taking a step back and detaching myself from the make a bunch of money versus and then just focus on let it compound over time.
Yeah, I've always thought don't keep chasing after the trades, but add more trading days because you're probably going to come back more fresh the next day anyway, and you just need to post a little bit of profit each day. Yeah. Is it a goal to make about 400 in a day, or do you have any goal in mind, or are you just kind of like this trade feels good and then you stop? What's the stopping point?
I try not to set any limits on myself or I don't want to have the expectations, right? Because if I set expectations that I want to make $400 in a day and I don't, then I have the mentality of I got to keep trading until I hit my expectation, right? And so I think a lot of traders have that issue is they, especially newer traders that trade prop firms and not personals, they only trade prop and they're new. They want to get to that payout as quickly as possible, right? And so they have the thought of I need to make X amount for X amount of days so I can get the payout in the time that I want it. Yep. Right? And that sets poor expectations on yourself and honestly applies even more pressure on you to trade and continue trading until you hit your expectation. And when you don't, then you get down on yourself. And then once you get down on yourself, you start revenge trading, you start over trading, you start doing all the bad habits because now you're feeling like crap and you want to hit the expectation that you set for yourself. And so just tying that together, that's why I don't set limits, right? I don't. The only limits I set is how much I lose in a day, and then I'm done. Fair. I'll take what the market gives me. If it's $100, it's $100. If it's 300, it's 300. If it's 500, cool. Yep.
Yeah. So in your mind, consistency is really about controlling the loss, because in reality, we really can't control how much we make in a day. The markets could give you a ton in one day and then give you nothing the next. It's never a linear process. Right. But what does the risk side look like for you? Is there a hard cutoff point?
Yeah, for my personal, it's 2% per day, right? Prop firm, I usually try not to risk more than 400 to 500.
400 to 500 in a day. Got it. And is that done just by monitoring the account, or I mean, I know you have the stop set with each trade. So you're basically like, I'm done after 2 trades kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prop firm counts, like I'm done after, if I'm like on 2 to 3 trades and I'm still just not there, like I'm done. Like I'm not gonna continue. Personal account, it's a hard stop. I mean, I'm exiting out of everything. It's like 2%, and I try not to even get to 2% of my account. If I feel I take a red trade and I'm still not seeing the market clearly after my red trade, like I won't even risk another trade. I'll exit out and go do something else.
Sure.
And so
So what is your setup, if you can describe that?
Looking for a prop firm that actually plays nice with automation? Meet Blue Sky, built for serious traders. And with TradersPost, it just clicks. You connect Blue Sky inside TradersPost, route your TradingView signals to paper or funded accounts, and let it auto-manage entries, stops, and targets. You control risk per trade, filter by session and symbol, and pause or resume with a single switch. Every fill is easy to review in one dashboard. Funded accounts can request payouts daily with launch plans starting at $49. Get funded with Blue Sky. Execute with TradersPost. Apply today at bluesky.pro, BLUSKY.pro, and plug in your edge. Trading involves risk. Use proper risk management.
Yeah, so I have 2. One is a newer one that I've kind of been developing myself and tweaking, and I've found a lot of success with. But for the first one, it's initial balance. It's the first hour of the trading session, initial balance high, initial balance low. And I look for failures of those levels. Right. And so, as an example, if we go up and test the initial balance high and we break that high and then come back within their range, showing weakness, showing like we're going to actually fail and move lower, I will take shorts based off failing the continuation of IB high. Vice versa on the IB low. If we come down and break IB low, we show a little bit of strength and we come back within the range and we're still showing strength, then I will take longs, anticipating that we're failing the IB low. And then there's the vice versa side of that too. There's the continuations, right? If we're breaking IB high and we're still showing strength, and you could play it as a retest of IB high and take the longs. But my bread and butter has been failures of those levels.
Got it. So really paying attention to IB. That makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. The other strategy I've been working on developing, the NASDAQ is notorious for sweeping levels, and running liquidity and then reversing out of them and continuing the direction that it was originally going. And so I have been being really mindful of where most people would place their stops. Right.
Sure.
If we have
retail stops.
Yeah. If we have a trend in the market, and there's ground rules to this, obviously. One of the ground rules is, do we have a clear market direction on a long time frame, on a higher time frame, and what's our daily bias? Is our daily bias with the long term trend, right? And so if those line up, then what I'm looking for is, where are most people likely to have their stops on a pullback? That way I enter on where majority of people would place their stop losses. And I have found that I am getting extremely good entries and higher risk to reward trades doing that. Now I am sizing down a little bit on these because the market is pulling back as I'm entering. However, my entries are going with the trend. Right? And so I have found that, I'm not saying you're going to get bottom ticks, but I've gotten more bottom ticks. I've gotten better entries. I've gotten higher risk to reward trading this way and trying to train myself to think, what's likely to happen and where would the majority of people want to get out of this. And using that as my entry. So
longer horizon, you're following the correct trend, but you're effectively buying a pullback in a longer, like an uptrend, right?
Yeah. So my entries are generally on the sweeps of key levels.
On the sweeps, right. And so in many cases, you probably get wicked in, which is fantastic. But then, do you keep your stop fairly far away from that then?
No. So there's two different things I look at for a stop loss. If there's market structure that's close enough that makes sense for me to invalidate the trade, then I'll go off market structure. If market structure is too far away from the entry, then it'll be based on point value.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. And I'm sure, what's your success rate been on that approach? It feels like that's probably at least 50%.
Yeah. So far, I'd have to pull up the stats in TradeZilla and look, but so far I'm right around like 70%.
Fantastic. Yeah. Nice. So what do you think retail traders are getting wrong about prop firm trading these days?
The rush.
Rush. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, being able to trade multiple accounts at the same time and knowing that you can trade 7 days to get a 10K payout at a prop firm, right? It's a money glitch. You know what I mean? So people want to rush that and hurry that. And so I think newer traders coming in the prop firm scene are like, man, like I can make this amount of money really quickly. I want to try to do that. And then they find themselves blowing it over and over again. And so again, it just kind of ties back to what I said earlier, is thinking more a little bit more longer term. Think if you could, instead of trying to get the payout in a single, week or week and a half or even 2 weeks, right? What could 10K a month do for you? If you're trading 5 accounts and you took it slow and could take $2,000 out of each of those a month, that's 10K. Like what could that do for you in a month if you just did one payout in a month? I mean, that's more than I would say majority of people make in their jobs, right? Especially if you have a job and you're working somewhere else, you have income. What could you do with that extra 10K that just got transferred to your bank account, right? You know what I mean? So it's like it's just taking a step back and realizing that the market's not going anywhere. The market's going to be here long after we're long and gone. And so it's like there is no rush. I mean, you're gonna just again taking a step back and focusing on the longer time frame of trading.
A little bit of profit each day, right?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. So have you moved to a point where you're kind of scaling your approach here with prop firms, or what does that look like for you?
So I really only trade one prop firm right now. I have a partnership with Tradeify, and so I trade with them, and I found I love everything that they're doing and the process they have, the back end that they have going on. So I have a pretty strong partnership there. So I focus on them and trade 5 accounts with that, and so. Obviously, it's the max 5 accounts, 100K accounts that they offer. And just again focus on one payout, right? I just get to one payout no matter how long that takes, and then just waiting for the next one.
Have you been called up to live yet?
No, not yet. I am positive on the P&L as far as prop firms go. There was a time where I did take a payout with Tradeify, and after that payout, I went on a losing streak. I legit went on like I think it was, think back, it was probably like a 7-day losing streak where I man, like it was rough. And if you go on a losing streak that long in a prop firm, the limits are tight, right? You're toast. Even if you do follow risk management and you're following your plan and your risk is like you go on a 7-day losing streak in a prop firm account with tight limitations. You get to a point of no return eventually, right?
I think that's one of the conceptions that people really need to wrap their minds around with prop firm accounts. It's not $100,000 account you're trading. It's a $4,000 account you're trading. So you got to split your loss up by that drawdown limit that you have available. Fortunately, Tradeify seems to be one with significantly larger trailing drawdowns than others. So were you splitting those 7 days up by about $400 per day, and you just took one consecutive loss after another, or what?
I don't remember the exact daily loss that I was using. When I took the payout, that payout that I took the max payout that I could. And it dropped my account down pretty significantly.
Because you don't have that buffer anymore, right?
I don't have that buffer. And then the 7 days after that, it was just rough. So it was a point of no return. And so it was kind of like, let's just try to get it. Let's just trade it. If we get it back, we get it back. If we don't, we'll just load up some more. And so I do have more accounts that I'm funded with, and we're performing exceptionally well with that. In fact, probably will be taking a payout with them here pretty quickly. But man, it's been good.
That's the process. I think we've all been through it. If we've been at it long enough, we've all lost accounts. So,
everybody's lost accounts. Even the most, I would argue, even the most seasoned traders are still going to lose prop firm accounts just because of the limitations and the drawdown, right? I mean, it's like
it's super tight.
If you get in a hole, it's hard to get out of. And you have to be almost a perfect trader to get out of a hole.
That's right. Yeah. Especially if you've got maybe $400 or $500 of drawdown left. What do you do? You have one trade left effectively, right? Yeah. And I traded live futures before I traded prop firms. Most of the days that I would manage risk on were as much as $5,000 or $6,000 in one day of drawdown. There's no way you could trade that way in a prop firm account.
No.
You're going to lose those accounts all day long. So it was a big jump for me as well, having to size down, but also keep that risk extremely tight and controlled. So what else?
I would say for me, on the prop firm accounts too, it's I really use them to fund the personal account as well. My personal account is, I funded it with 25K myself, and then just anything that I make from prop firms outside of with Tradeify is going straight into the personal account, right? I don't pay myself out of it. I don't take any money out of it. It's just growing it with trading, and then whatever I make from prop firms goes just kind of funnels right into it. And then that's where I know, again, my risk is really tight, and I'm focused on building the capital for longevity versus, trying to get to a payout. You know what I mean?
Right. No, it makes perfect sense. I mean, really, that's what you want to build up, because that's where it's going to compound a lot quicker over the long run, right? And 25 is a healthy number to start with. Is that also where you basically just stick with NQ, or are you trading any other assets over there in futures?
I do trade gold with it.
Okay, you're waiting for the pullback there, right?
Yeah. There's been some gold trades that I've taken that have been very, very well. In fact, that second strategy that I mentioned, getting off sweeps and with the long-term time frame going with the trend, that's worked very well on gold for me. Actually, I've noticed that gold likes to do the same thing.
It's trending right now. Trending really, really well.
It's trending on pullbacks. It will sweep a nice little level and then continue the trend that it was moving. So if I can get in on those sweeps, it's the same exact thing.
Take it all day long. I love it. So aside from trading every day and trying to get away on the boat, and when you can get away from the desk, what else are you working on these days?
Right now it's been, I've just been creating a lot of content. And I mean, I really enjoy the content side of things. And I wouldn't say not even to be an influencer, so to speak. I think it's more so just I enjoy talking about trading, and so I create content around it. Even if nobody watched my YouTube channel, nobody watched my Twitter or whatever, I would still be doing it because I like talking about it. I like deep diving into it. I'm a big believer in psychology, and I like diving into those kind of things.
Sure.
In fact, I have a YouTube video coming out today that's probably going to hit home for a lot of people. I'm really excited for it to come out. It's like, I don't know, it's fun, right? And so I like building content and doing things like that. I would say, like, outside of trading, it's been just really focused on fitness and getting out on the lake, right? I mean, something that I actually had a conversation with. I was on Tradeify TV the other day, and we were talking about doing things off screen. And it's like, do you really want to like sit at a computer all day long, like every single day, when it's like 75 degrees outside, sunny, feeling real nice, right? No breeze, no clouds. Or do you really want to sit inside in a little cubicle all day long? Or do you want to get outside and do stuff? And so for me, it's like, can I take my one and done trade? Can I get my content done? And then can I go outside and take the boat out and go fishing? Like that, that's my time away from the screen, and also helps me reset. And so I feel like everybody should be doing that, because there are some people, not to go off on a tangent here, but there are some people that will, they trade like London session, they trade the New York session, and they trade the Asia session. It's like, do you sleep? Like, it's right. It's like, do you ever take time away? And it's like, I don't know. I feel like if traders really focused on the one session that they're good at and the time frame that they're good at, and then get their trade and go, I feel like there would be more profitable traders out there than not.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's alluring. I think there's a habit forming and maybe even an addiction aspect of this that can keep people on the charts for long periods of time. It's probably not a great idea. Get away from the screen for a little while, for sure.
100%, yeah.
So you mentioned psychology is something you're really invested in. Can you give us some ideas on what topics you really cover there?
Yeah, I think I like to take concepts and throw rocks at it and really deep dive into it, right? And so, just talking on the video that I've come out today, just as an example, it's you're not your P&L, right? And a lot of people, I think, focus on that. They think it creates emotional whiplash. Think about it. You're green one day, you're euphoric, you're on a high, you're feeling great, and then the next day you have a red day, and then you all of a sudden feel like crap. Like the good feeling you had is now gone. Now you feel like crap, right? And so there's a direct correlation on human capital and how people trade, and on versus like how they manage their emotional capital, right? There's a direct correlation there, and so I think that obviously it's cliche to say if you can detach yourself from the emotional side, you'll be much better off, but it goes much deeper than that, right? Again, if you can find ways to make trading not your identity, then you're going to be better off, right? Cliche, but there is a lot of things you can do there to detach your identity from your trading, from your P&L, right? And that could go back to doing things off screen, right? Having hobbies or having another source of income, building another source of income, right? The market doesn't know about your day. It doesn't know your name. It doesn't know if you've had a good day, if you got much sleep, if it doesn't know how you're feeling, if your ex broke up, or if your girlfriend broke up with you, it has no idea, right? And so you have to really detach your identity from the markets to really see success.
Sure. Yeah, I might add to that and say one thing that can also help is to redefine your identity. For me, it was shifting from thinking of myself as a trader and thinking of myself more as a risk manager.
Sure.
If my only job was just to focus on controlling the loss, then that doesn't make me bad at what I'm doing if I'm taking the exact loss that I had already planned for. What's coming up on the horizon for 2025? Is there anything exciting that you're working on?
Yeah, there is. I mean, without going too much into detail and just kind of giving service level, I have a partner, and we're actually going to be building a fund together. We're going to be building kind of like a little private hedge fund.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I have a lot of people. I actually have a couple buddies who do the same. They have funds for themselves, and they manage, quite a bit of capital. I won't be at their scale, but we're going to be starting a fund together. And so the whole idea of me trading a personal is, again, to show that, to kind of build that track record to show like these are the returns that are possible, and to obviously get with my connections and maybe have some investors and build a fund.
Sure. Yeah. So you're going to start with just a family office, or are you going the CTA route?
Family. Yeah.
Family. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. What kind of hurdles do you have to run through for that?
Surprisingly, there's not very, like, a lot of people think you need all these licensings, but you really don't. You don't need the licensings. There's certain stipulations you want to follow. Like for me, like I only want to take on accredited investors. There's some hurdles if you don't that you have to go through. And so I only want to take on accredited investors, people that make $200K or have like $1 million in assets.
Right.
People that I can take on there. And then I'm going to stay under a threshold as far as dollar amount in the fund that I trade. And so it'll be real small at first, but there's not very many hurdles is what people think. I think the biggest expense in starting it is just having a lawyer draft up your documents, right? Your legal docs. And that's the biggest expense there.
Yeah. I've always been curious for those interested in heading down the family office path or even starting an open fund, if prop firms would play a role in any of that, given the risk to reward ratio and the operating cost perspective. It seems like you get even more leverage from that if you have a profitable approach. Have you considered that as part of the fund? Or is this just going to be live futures?
It's just going to be futures. Yeah. It's what I know. I now want to stick to what I know. Because that's where I'm going to see the most success. But yeah, that's going to be that's going to be the goal. It's futures. We're all cash by the end of the day.
Sure.
And that's really it.
Next, Paul Tudor Jones here. I love it. Let's go for it.
Yeah. I want to do something big. It's like, I feel like every trader kind of goes down the same path, or I want to say content creator, influencer, day trader, whatever it may be. Like I feel like everybody kind of goes down the same path. It's they create, or they become profitable. They're profitable traders, and they create mentorships and courses and things like that. Me, like I want to be a profitable trader and have a fund. Like I want to trade for other people and help other people make money, right? And so if I can be profitable on the amount of capital that I have now, and then have larger capital, take the same exact trades on larger capital, the same exact approach, everything is the same, right? That one trade. Now, granted, I'm not going to be trading a fund every single day. It's going to be like it's very select, very picky. Like I might even take 3 trades, right?
Sure.
In a month. Yeah. So, but if I can take the same exact trades on larger capital, then that's going to be exponential returns for the fund.
Got it. Love it. Looking forward to that. So that's something you're working on next. Any chance we can get the name of what this fund's going to be? Is there a working title?
Not yet. No, not yet. We're still working on that. Like I said, we're very surface level right now with it. And so we're kind of getting ready to start having conversations with people and kind of just go through iterations of how we want to approach the fund and what investors really want, right? And so the whole idea right now is just to have open conversation with potential investors, no deal, nothing, no pitch, really just not even hardly a pitch, just kind of like presenting an idea. And then, gather feedback of what investors truly want out of a fund, and then go through that feedback, create iterations that we think we can build a final product with, and then go to, obviously a lawyer and have them draft up a document for us to then go back to those people and pitch the final product.
Yeah. It is as serious as you can take this process. I'm excited for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how can people get a hold of you? I know we're going to put some links here in the show notes for your X account and your YouTube account. What's the best way to get in contact with you, though?
I would say Twitter. I'm pretty responsive on Twitter. YouTube, I respond to all my comments. But Twitter, I would say I'm probably most active as far as like getting messages and replying to comments or replying to people. So I would say Twitter. I do trade live every single day on YouTube, so you can tune in live streams. I'm very interactive with the chat.
Yeah.
People ask questions, I go in there and answer them. A lot of my content can come from my live streams. People ask questions, I answer them, and it's great content.
Yeah.
And so very active there in the comment section on lives, and then also Twitter.
Fantastic. All right, we'll get that in there. But thanks again for coming on here today. This is definitely some wisdom dropped here, and I'm excited to hear the launch of your fund here coming up here soon. So
perfect.
Appreciate it. Hope you have a really good 2025, and we'll catch up soon on the next one.
Perfect. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.